In this video, I'm going to be building a Dragonoid motorbike from the future and some ninja chasing after the ultimate shatter spin power. This is the future of Ninjago, episode 7. Let's get in it. So the first step to building any LEGO set, as seen in the instructions, is building the minifigures. The first minifigure in this set is Wildfire. Obviously, it's her bike. I stole Kai's mahogany red suit from the hands of Time Wave, but this alone just isn't good enough. So I'm adding some wings from this Dragonian warrior from the latest season of Ninjago. These minifigures look amazing, and their wings work perfectly for this Wildfire. And since this is the future, Wildfire has learned both Spinjitzu and Rising Dragon techniques, which makes her even stronger than she was before. But a new villain has emerged, Dreadclaw, the master of stealth. Dreadclaw is an old Dragonian that got forgotten by his family and friends and then sent to the land of lost things. During his time there, he found some Imperium tech that spawned in the sky. Must have been forgotten. What is it? Dreadclaw's flying up to see. It's a star, but man-made? He found a red button, so he pushed it and bang! He was out and in a city in a flash. But instead of being grateful for getting out of such a horrible place, he chose to let the anger fill him. He learned martial arts by watching YouTube tutorials and some Jackie Chan movies. During this time, he also taught himself shatter spin, just like Aaron taught himself Spinjitzu. All this anger that was corrupting him literally turned him black. He heard of a source of ultimate shatter spin power called the shatter core rooting from Thunderfang, just like the energy cores rooted from the source dragon. So he asked Thunderfang to pop one out, and he did. Nice. This core can give one shatter spin an unstoppable amount of power. His mission is to acquire this shatter core and to destroy everyone and everything because he had been forgotten. So he threw on his hat and started out. To build Dreadclaw, I grabbed these blue legs along with this blue Jurassic World torso. I then grabbed him some spiky armor. Then his wings went from red to black along with his face as well, which is actually from the Crystal King. I then gave him this dark blue straw hat from Rogue to represent his stealth in a visually interesting way. For his weapon, I made him this staff that has a Samurai X piece at the top and then this red transparent piece at the bottom. The reason for that is because this is a shatter spin powered weapon. Imagine a normal weapon but powered by shatter spin. Extra strong, extra deadly. And since Dreadclaw knows shatter spin, we can use this shatter spin spinner set. So let's build it up. And then use this red spinner to have him do shatter spin. Next is Master Lloyd. Now since this is taking place in the future, Lloyd has all but dropped his green color scheme for a much more woo-inspired robe. So I grabbed this old fool's legs and torso from his crystallized outfit and then gave him some white armor from the first season of Dragon's Rising. I then gave him his Prime Empire head and finally his hair. The ninja characters in this set look really good, but are they strong enough to defeat Dreadclaw? To build this Dragonoid bike, I started off with a general bike structure. I built up this main base for the bike by adding the back wheel using these typical Technic rods for holding the actual wheel. I then made the wheel in the front stick out much further than usual on Ninjago bikes for a different look. I also added these covers from the Mr. E-bike back from that Season 8 bike chase set. It adds some really nice detail. One of the most challenging parts of building this set was figuring out a way for it to have volume, just like my hair. See, most Ninjago bikes use a ton of Technic pieces to add volume, whether it be a flash out feature or just rocks connected to the side. But a fun fact is that I am awful at the Technic side of LEGO. So I opted for these angular pieces that can move using the hinge to achieve different angles. Then I made 2 of these side pieces with some black scales along with some vents on the tops and these flaps at the back. Volume. Meanwhile, Lloyd and Wildfire were both after the shatter core after reading about it in a scroll. But they ran into Dreadclaw and started fighting it. Lloyd went in for a Spinjitzu tornado attack but gets punched to the ground. Then Wildfire instantly went in for a Rising Dragon attack, but Dreadclaw stomped his leg and then started doing shatter spin, knocking her to the ground. Then he started flying away, and Wildfire chased after him, but he's just a more experienced flyer. I forgot he can fly. We need to get this bike ready for these two so they can use it to beat him to the core, because if they don't, bad stuff is gonna happen. And And Wildfire also needs to practice flying. You'd think someone who grew up with dragons would be better at this. Shut up. To build the front part of this bike, I built this engine with some snot pieces on the sides and then connected some blasters to it that shoot red lasers. I also added some black scales on each side. The eyes I used were from the firstborn dragon, and they really give the bike that dragon feel that I was going for. I then clicked the handle. Moving right onto the back, I built this little base using some slopes and snot pieces. Now, one thing this bike is not gonna struggle with is speed, because I added this massive booster in the back and fire blasting out of it. Speed is key in the race to the shatter core, and this bike is gonna have it. I want it to be able to fly as well, so I'm gonna add wings all over it. Now I'm finally adding these golden horns in the front. Now let's go get this shatter spin core. By the time the ninja got there, Dreadclaw was flying right above them, and he came in with an attack from his shatter spin powered weapon and knocked the bike, Lloyd, and Wildfire a good 30 feet away. He then grabbed the shatter core out of its spiked capsule that I built using these red claws that wrap around the actual core. And after Dreadclaw had absorbed the core, he achieved the incredible shatter spin strength he needed to be unstoppable. Lloyd and Wildfire both attacked, but it did nothing to even dent his power. Binjitsu didn't work, neither did Rising Dragon. Then Wildfire thought to herself, I should see if I can transfer Rising Dragon to my bike. That Kai would totally be jealous of. Well, it's worth a shot. So she jumped on her bike and started flying at Dreadclaw. And then she started using Rising Dragon and it worked. The power transferred to her bike, and because of the size, she knocked Dreadclaw to the ground and the core literally flew out of him. Wait, is he red again? Lloyd rushed over and grabbed the core as quick as he could. It looks like knocking the core out of Dreadclaw took all the corruption out of him. Maybe he's good now. Maybe. Always remember that Jesus loves you more than you could ever imagine, and that he has a purpose for your life. Also, quick question, don't you have to have elemental powers to use Shatter Spin?